Hey YouTube, Tristan here. I just, as you can see, bunch of big fat pipe. Wish I could show you how thick it is, but it's going up for $8 a foot right now. Except we're using it to build tie posts for the horses, which there's one over there you can barely see. It's a big grinder, 7.5 inch, except it's got like a 5-inch wheel now because we ground it down so much, but still cleaning up the welds. Just got the welds done this morning and gonna put this big long one right here in front of the barn, 4 feet away from the barn and the fence. It's gonna start right in between those pads, obviously gonna move the mats, then it's gonna end somewhere by where that is. And this one, I think, is going up by that oak tree. Then that one is going somewhere I don't know. I really don't know where that other one's going. And I got the battery on the trickle charger again. I tried to start it with the switch turned off. Killed the battery. Got an extension cord running out of here, and as you can see, I used to have my soldering iron out here, and I was soldering everything. But, as you can see, can't see very well, but that's soldered to the switch. I didn't do very much soldering because it didn't work out good, but I replaced all the twisted wire with wire nuts. You can see there's, I originally was connecting it with these so you could pull it apart if you had to, but here, let me put it back, set the camera up. It's just the hood you're seeing. But yeah, I finally wired up my headlights. And my last video I did on rewiring was originally for my teacher, but it was too big of a file to email, so I posted it on YouTube. And I noticed I got a ton of views on it, so actually just like 5 or 10 minutes ago, I went to the editing and went to annotations and all that and put in a little thing at the very beginning of the video. I'm gonna put a new video out soon that's more descriptive, and that's what this video is. So, right under this engine cover, there's a coil. There's only one wire going to it, which is this white wire right here that I'm holding, other than these two spark plug wires. This one goes over to that side right there, then this one obviously goes to right there. But if you have only one cylinder, there'll only be one wire. This is an 18 horse. If you have anything under that, it'll probably be a single cylinder, or anything above it, it'll be a twin. Probably some 21 horses are only single cylinder, which is pretty big for a single. But anyway, back to the point. Let's show you how we wired this. There's just this white wire going to the coil, which is underneath here. Then this white wire goes to here, extended with another wire up to a toggle switch. And there's a toggle switch right there. As you can see, it works. Then the other wire just goes straight to ground. It doesn't matter which terminals you go on, but you're gonna want to make sure your toggle switches work right, or mounted right. As you can see under there's that big solid piece there, then there's that rounded ended piece there. And on most toggle switches, you can look in the crack right in there and see when the switch pushes down, or when the switch moves. It'll move normally a little copper, wire, that comes up and connects and makes the circuit. And you want this toggle switch mounted so when you make the connection, it kills the motor. Because when you give this coil ground, it makes it stop working, and obviously so on. And but this wire goes straight to the toggle switch, doesn't matter which terminal, and this wire goes straight to ground. Now I just put this wire right here. I shortened it out because I used to have it run through that hole and all the way down here, which bugged the crud out of me, and I shortened it a little too much, so I just put it right there. I don't know if that's good ground. I would put it on the frame. But anyway, doesn't matter which terminal, you just need to make sure that your toggle switch is mounted so when you make the connection, which is down, it's up. I mounted it upside down so when you make the connection it kills the motor. So make sure that's mounted right. And then to other wiring, the battery is supposed to be here, by the way. I just haven't put it in yet because you just saw it on the trickle charger. But I'm going to show you how I wired my headlights. Now, back there, that's the switch right there. And this orange wire nuts to this red wire, which goes to permanent live ground, which is this cable hooks up to the battery, and that's just basically hooked up right to it. And so yeah, and then that's the kill wire. And then so after that you want this black wire. It's supposed to be negative, but who cares? I got this black wire running down to here, which is wire nutted for extension, all the way to one of the connectors on the headlights. Doesn't matter which one. I switched around the polarity a little bit, but it doesn't really matter as long as there's solid connection going through them. But then this wire is the one that runs back underneath, and that wire is this guy right here. So you want a solid wire running straight from the headlights to the switch, then another wire running from the switch to hot power, that's always there, and then another thing that's headed from hot power that's always there to the headlights. So current goes through this wire here up to here, then when I turn the switch on, it connects the circuit going through here, going through there, and so the only reason you need to connect that there is so the lights can actually turn on, so they have power. So yeah. And if you're wondering about this little wire, this is my alternator wire. Now there's a little alternator inside this flywheel. Doesn't work like a car alternator, but in a similar way. Alternator stays stationary, and it comes out and connects to the flywheel. Then when the flywheel's spinning, it also obviously turns the alternator. Well, there's two wires that go to this little regulator thingy. I don't really know exactly what to call it, but most alternators will have just a straight wire coming out, but this is a Craftsman, so it has a regulator. That's not ensuring that all Craftsmans will have a regulator. Note that. But if you have two wires coming out of your alternator, one will go to your battery, which is this back feed. I just drilled a hole there and drilled a hole there and ran it through here to make it neater. And that goes up to here and back feeds to the battery, so it'll charge it. But if you have two wires, the black one hooks up to your headlights in line. Actually, the black one hooks up to this part right here. You don't even need to hook it up to the battery if you don't have a regulator and you have two, and you have a black and a red. But the red goes to your battery, the black goes to your headlights. So, yeah. And then this is just the red wire coming off of it. It's really faded. It almost looks like purple, but that comes through here. I'm going to put a grommet there so it doesn't cut. And comes through here like this, into here, and then back feeds onto the battery, which obviously is currently unattached. And so, and then that's your kill switch that's running, and that kills it. But this is your ignition switch. Just Battery's not hooked up, so it's not making any noise, but this is you push it and it starts your motor. It has to be a temporary or momentary push button. I use horn buttons because they're always momentary. I mean, it's a horn. You only want it on for a certain amount of time. And this white wire, or the red wire, goes straight to battery, which is right here. And if you're wondering why it's not connected straight to the battery, I only wanted to unhook one thing, and this goes to the one post on the solenoid, and that's where all these wires come in for hot ground, which is okay. It doesn't matter at all. But this is hot wire right here going to the switch. Then this white wire right here comes around. Hard to track it, but it comes around like this. And the white wire is the post on your battery. It does, or on your solenoid. It doesn't really matter which one if you have two posts, but it's always going to be one down here. Then if you do have two posts, you have to have one going straight to ground. This is a new solenoid. My old one was bad, so that's the one I took apart and showed you guys how it works. But doesn't really matter which one is the engagement wire. It just goes through and so on. Just like headlights, I mean, I could have hooked this wire up to the battery instead of this wire. It doesn't really matter. That's just a metaphor, but yeah. And then, so yeah, that's basically it. I'll run you through it one last time, clarify it. So this is your kill wire going straight to your coil, which is under here, coil magneto. Same difference, but that's under here. You can't see it right now. And then that goes to your toggle switch, and then back to ground. Doesn't matter which post, just as long as you have the toggle switch mounted right. What I would do is, if you can't tell which way is on and which way is off on your toggle switch, I would just put it one way after you mount everything, and then try to start. If it doesn't start, flip it. If it starts, then you know which one is on and which one is off. And if like that is off, then you can leave it, but if up is off, then you can just flip it around or just leave it if you want. It doesn't really matter. And so yeah, and then this is hot going to momentary switch. Then this, when you push the button only, comes through this white wire to the solenoid, and then this goes straight to ground. And then sometimes there's two wires coming off of your alternator, and that will be one, the black one goes to your headlights, and then to the red one back feeds through here to the battery. And this setup seemed to work really well to me, and if you have a regulator, that's great. And if you don't have one, I don't really know what you should worry about. The only thing I can think of is overcharge. So yeah.